Hello my creepy poples, welcome to Creepy Corners. So I told you I was going to go to a cemetery, and I thought I would make this the first stop just because it's kind of unbelievable that this is a cemetery. I don't know how much you heard of that. I took this out of the thing, but I saw there was an SD card error. But anyway, so there is this one, and I'm not even going to touch it, but there's this one grave marker here, and then the rest is just open field. That is definitely a cemetery. I don't know, I've got to look it up and find the story behind it, but I thought it was really interesting, and I figured this was a sort of an interesting place to start talking about cemeteries. Anyway, I don't know if this got recorded or not either, but Mom and my niece and I all found it through a geocache. Giant spooky tree, love it so much. Another tree, and then there's a cross down there, and I believe Jesus is on that. And then apparently all of this was a cemetery. This cemetery is St. Gabriel Catholic Cemetery. It has 7,312 graves, which are all unmarked except the one that you just saw. And it was established in 1907. And unfortunately, I had a pretty hard time finding any more information about it.
Well, since I had so much weirdness with the first cemetery, I'm gonna try to go to another cemetery, and I'll talk to you more about it when we get there.
Hey guys, so I'm at, it's called Old German Cemetery, I think. I brought 2 cameras this time. This place looks really cool, so I'm actually gonna try. So I'm having all sorts of interesting issues with cameras today, but here, this is quite sad actually to see this. But I mean, it's interesting in the fact that these gravestones are off the area here, so I'm sort of fascinated by this. I'm gonna do some more research and find out the story, but there are definitely gravestones all throughout, and it almost looks like they try to protect it by just letting the nature grow up around it. Yeah, my GoPro keeps telling me I have SD card errors, so I'm sort of curious about that, but it looks like just vandals or maybe time destroyed these, which is super sad. But I mean, I don't know. So, beautiful trees and stuff. I see cans and bottles and things, so there's more. I think that's what they did. I think they just let it grow up around the gravestones so people wouldn't mess with them. I just saw and heard an animal. I don't know what it was though. Probably a squirrel. But yeah, these are really fascinating. I don't understand what exactly happened, which I guess I'll find out though. I mean, this is truly, truly a shame if that's why they had to let this grow up. Although it looks pretty amazing. Oh, you can walk back here. I'm not going to though, because there's beer cans and stuff. You know, come on. Alright, so I'm at the Mount Zion Memorial Cemetery. Make sure I got my keys, yeah. So here we go. It's also somewhat little, but really what I wanted to see, let's see if I can get around to it here, are the crypts. And I'll probably take you guys through more of a tour of this later, but I wanted to see the crypt, so. Those were the 3 cemeteries that I visited today. I started to go to another one, but there was definitely somebody there tending to their loved one's grave, and I did not want, and it was a very small cemetery, so I didn't want to get out and bother them. But, you know, I have to say about the broken headstones that I can only hope that time is what did it and not people. At least respect the thing that the people are going to go and visit as their way to remember their loved one. I just feel like that's such a horrible thing to do. So I muted and put music over most of what I was saying because I was really, really mad. And I was just basically just upset about the fact that, you know, I thought maybe somebody had done that, had broken those headstones. But it was really weird how much information I couldn't find about the first couple of places. And I'm wondering if maybe I'm just not looking at the right place. I mean, I Googled it. I looked at historical stuff, and somebody had written a whole paper or whatever about Chicago cemeteries, but I didn't really see, other than that one little section where I talked about the first place, you know, I didn't find really anything else about either of those two. But it's just, you know, it's really interesting to go and see what the time frames and the condition and all of the things that go along with the cemetery. But the first one, the Gabriel's Catholic Cemetery, is really, really interesting to me. I need to get some backstory on why there are over 7,000 graves there, but none of them have headstones except that one. I mean, I feel like that's really, is that weird to you too? Because even in modern cemeteries, they at least have the flat markers so that, you know, people can put flowers or whatever they want with it. But that one just seems really interesting to me, that it's just a big open field, and I don't feel like a lot of people notice it. There's a lot of people in this town, so I'm curious how many people actually know what it is and realize that it's a giant cemetery that's right there. But all right, so I think that's going to be it for this installment of Chicago cemeteries. Maybe I'll do some sort of a series, because there are definitely a lot of them around. And really, when you get closer to the city, there are some really cool headstones and cemeteries, and big cemeteries. So I may do a weekend where I go out to the city and take you with me to some cemeteries there. But thank you, Chris, for requesting this. This was definitely something that I need to do. I need to get out and find the cemeteries that are around in this town and the towns near me. And
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. So have a good day or good night wherever you are, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for watching. Click here to subscribe, or click here to watch another video. I'll see you later, creepy poples.